atheism is going to be destroyed by an Oxford mathematician. He's so smart. Look at this guy. You can tell he's from Oxford because of the way he is. You can tell because of the way he is. That's an Oxford man. And this is an Oxford place. 15 million. Brilliance! Nope. Brilliancy? Hold on. Brilliance is an adjective. Is brilliancy? Intense brightness of light, vividness of color. Yeah, so brilliancy is not what you would use for the mind here. This is to describe, like, a visual effect. Brilliancy! So smart, dude. This is in a nutshell, Christian fucking theology. Brilliancy! They're so smart, dude. An Oxford mathematician. All right, let's see it. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not even good at math. I'm sure this guy will destroy me.
What I am amazed at is that serious thinkers today...
Do you think it'll be fine-tuning? I think it's going to be fine-tuning. I think we're going to have a fine-tuning argument. Dude, bring back atheist YouTube. I'm in my wheelhouse, chat. Fine-tuning? Are you kidding me? Brilliancy in evidences. Yes, maybe. Christian intellectualisms. Look at these white men.
Ask
Amazing.
us to choose between God and science. That's like asking people to choose between Henry Ford and engineering.
Engineering.
As an explanation of the motor car.
What you're about to listen to is...
The answer is engineering, by the way. What?
Absolutely.
What? It wasn't Henry Ford?
Exceptional. It's John Lennon.
He invented the line that they use to make the assembly line. He invented like factory work like in that way. He's not good for labor rights. He didn't invent the car. I appreciate this guy's K-Kona vibes and his fake background. Is it a sticker or is it a green screen? Nice stuff. Love it. He's in his apartment living room. No pants.
With Oxford Union making his case for God. It's extremely dense. He packs a lot into a little amount of time. So feel free to pause, rewind, whatever you need to make sure that you're really grasping each and every idea that he lays out.
It does look like it has creases like right here and stuff. Yeah.
With that being said, let's go ahead and dive in.
I believe in God. I believe in the supernatural God.
Idiot.
Who created the heavens and the earth.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I believe in a God who holds...
I can count, so I believe in God. Shut up. Wait, this is a series of videos we've watched before where they just have right-wing dum-dums on. And they go, ooh, we're very smart. We are very smart. I can count to Jesus. Hooligan Grundy. Are you a religious person? Please say yes.
The heavens and the...
You're not. You're going to be a nice person, and I'm going to like you. Fuck. God damn it, Hooligan Grundy. Now you're just going to be a welcome member of the community instead. It's awful. God damn it, that's so awful.
The earth in existence. I believe that on the basis of rational evidence.
Can we stop this stuff? I don't know what this is, but just dudes just sitting there and trying to look real serious while people smarter and just as dumb say stuff, and they go like, yeah, I agree. I'm assuming because he had a widescreen, he's going to talk every once in a while, but I kind of hate this.
And as we look at the rise of science in the 16th and 17th centuries, Alfred North Whitehead...
It's like he's doing it, though. It's not... I don't think he's actually, like... I don't know. He's putting it on.
And many others commented that men became scientific because they expected law in nature, and they expected law in nature...
I was joking about proving God through math. Why does this keep happening?
Because they believed in a lawgiver. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not ashamed of being both a scientist and a Christian.
Should be.
Because arguably, Christianity gave me my subject. What I am amazed at is that
Christianity gave me my subject? Look, I'm no fan of Islam, but I feel like Islam has a little bit to say about modern mathematics being the job of Christians. And also, like, you know, we've been counting. We've been counting for a while. Zero was invented by non-Christians, you know. This is we had, I think they're appealing to like Sir Isaac Newton. They're like, oh, we had Sir Isaac Newton. This is like I don't know. It's like sports metaphors popped in my head, and I knew that wasn't going to be effective on my audience. It's like saying we used to have Michael Jordan on the team, but you guys like barely understand that that's barely effective for you.
Thinkers today continue to ask us to choose between God and science.
Mayans also invented zero? That's right.
It's like asking people to choose.
And calendar doomsdays. They invented 2012, the movie with John Cusack. God damn it, the Mayans.
Between Henry Ford and engineering as an explanation of the motor car.
So good.
When Newton discovered his law of gravity, he didn't say, I've got a law, I don't...
Yeah, but I don't feel like... I know that everyone knows who Michael Jordan is, but like... I don't know. I don't think like the impact of a very good player on a basketball team is like, you know, a very, I'm just too jock-pilled for my own audience, I think.
Made God. No, he wrote the
he literally isn't
Principia
doing anything.
Mathematica, arguably the greatest work in the whole history of science.
Is he just re-uploading this video?
Because he saw that God is not the same kind of explanation
Can I do
as
this?
a scientific explanation. God doesn't compete. Agency does not compete with mechanism and law.
From Space Jam?
Why is there
Nodding. I'm gonna start doing this content now.
something rather than nothing? Alan Sandage, the brilliant cosmologist who became a Christian in his 50s.
Is this guy saying stuff? It's actually like skipping right off my brain. I'm not listening to this. Free boot videos just do nothing. I mean, this have, yeah, it had 3.8 million views a month ago. Daily dose of wisdom. Wow. Pretty fucking destroyed right now. 2 minutes of this guy talking about old white guys. Awesome.
Said God is the answer to that question. But people are now so desperate to show that the universe created itself from nothing.
Sniper Wolf.
Which seems to me to be an immediate oxymoron. If I say X created Y, I'm assuming the existence of X to explain the existence of Y. If I say X created X, I'm assuming the existence of X to explain the existence of X.
Wow, that's pretty good math. There must be a creator. So, is this Kalam? It's not really Kalam. Sort of? The Kalam cosmological argument? It's not really. It's presuppositionalist. This is an inelegant Kalam, sort of? So, you're presupposing God, like, okay. So, this is easily debunked. This is how you do it. Okay. God created the universe in their heads, right? Let's hear it again to make sure we have it right.
Say X created Y, I'm assuming the existence of X to explain the existence of Y.
Yeah. So why the Christian God specifically as the creator God of the universe is the question. So what evidence do you have to deny outright the claims of Hinduism on the creation myth? And they don't have any because they don't know anything about Hinduism. And frankly, neither do I really. I mean, I know of Hinduism and know some stuff, but I don't know its theology the way I know the religion that I grew up around. And like, it's just like, well, I believe this. It's just presuppositionalist. The opposite is that I just don't know how the universe got made. And isn't that interesting? Isn't that dope? An acknowledgement of our physical reality. There's no evidence that's ever led us to say that, oh, there might be like an anthropomorphic sort of like, or not even anthropomorphic, maybe just a supernatural godlike being out there that's pulling on strings and making stuff happen. And in fact, like all the miracles of reality that we observe that contradict the claims of the Bible, Christians deny the reality of.
I hope you have a fantastic day.
And the only reality that could exist, if God did exist, this God of the gaps, even for mathematicians like this guy, would be that God created the physics of the world, and now you're living in the space that guy last night was living, and that's like, And that's like evolution is real, and Adam and Eve is an allegory until the fucking Garden of Eden, which is literal, which is fucking crazy to choose. Habitual Dodo, thanks so much for the 32 months, almost 3 years. So many months. How many bird years is 32 months? I don't know how bird years work.
If I say X created X, I'm assuming the existence of X to explain the existence of X.
That's really dumb.
Which simply shows that nonsense remains nonsense even if high-powered scientists utter it.
That might be worth rewinding in case you missed it the first time.
He's saying something. It took him 2 minutes and 43 seconds to have an opinion and transform the media that he is ripping off. Amazing.
Such a good point.
This is such a good point. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing. Nothing plus God equals everything. Okay, so atheists understand that the universe being nothing is a possibility due to the Big Bang, right? So the running theory and the physics works on this is that in empty space, for some quirk of physics, the universe itself becomes unstable and matter starts to happen. And then if enough of that process occurs in empty space, and it does because it's so unstable, then you have particles that smash into each other at high density because there is nothing. It's so hard to describe a matterless universe to a pigeon-brained Christian. Imagine a matterless universe, and they're just like, no, I can't think of anything. I mean, even we have a hard time conceiving it, but you can intellectually be like, okay, a matterless universe is something I can conceive of. You envision black, but it's probably even less than black. I don't even know what to say. It takes a while for an opinion to get through the soup strainer. Yeah. Listen to this Harvard guy, Crabman. Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of G.K. Chesterton, who said, "It is absurd to complain that it is unthinkable."
$10 says the hat smells gross. No, $10 he got the hat specifically so that he could make TikTok videos. He wanted to fit the vibe.
For an unthinkable God to make everything out of nothing, and then to pretend that it is more thinkable that nothing should turn itself into everything.
Jesus Christ, this is so fucking stupid. This is not an interesting defense. This is just a universe from nothing. This is just presupposition.
The heavens declare the glory of God, says the ancient psalm. And we've unraveled a bit of that, seeing the fine-tuning of the fundamental forces of nature.
I don't think he's starting to cry now.
It's something that's so striking to scientists that it demands explanation. And it seems to me that Arno Penzias hit it right. He is the Nobel Prize winner who discovered the microwave background on which a lot of the evidence for the Big Bang is based. He said astronomy leads us to a unique event.
This is always a thing they do. They're like, well, we only let Christian white men into education for hundreds of years. And so it was the Christians who discovered background radiation waves. So even though the Big Bang is a secular finding and disproves a lot of what our theology decrees is true, because they were Christians and found it, well, it's different. And it's like, It's like these guys must get confused by Scooby-Doo villains when the mask gets pulled off. They're like, wait a second! It's a person? That's a costume? They're just duped constantly.
A universe which was created out of nothing, one with the very delicate balance needed to provide exactly the right conditions required to permit life, and one which has an underlying, one might say, supernatural plan.
I absolutely wouldn't. I appreciate the smugness, though.
But I want to come to
That's a silly thing to say. I wouldn't imply supernatural anything to any of it. Actually,
I think is one of the fundamental arguments for theism.
Fine-tuning?
I take it
these motherfuckers taking notes in here.
This house believes in
This guy not about it, though.
in reason. That's why we're all here. And as a scientist, I believe that the universe is rationally intelligible. That is something that has struck some of the geniuses of science as demanding an explanation. Einstein said the only incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it's comprehensible. And Wigner talked about...
Wow. He said, what are those called? He said a sentence that's, it's not an anagram. Is there a word for that? He's used the same word. He's like, it's the only, wow, that's so deep. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. There's a cool thing about that. It can be deep, but like he goes, and doesn't think about the sentence. He's just like, damn, that's bars. A tautology. Thank you.
The unreasonable effectiveness of mathematics. How is it that a mathematician thinking in her head in here can come up with equations that seem to fit the universe out there? Well, how is it indeed? Because the irony of the atheist position here is evident. My atheist friends, and I have many of them, tell me that the driving force of evolution, which eventually produced our human cognitive faculties,
Is he? Okay, but he believes in it.
Reason included, was not primarily concerned with truth at all, but with survival.
Yeah, obviously. You're not concerned with truth whatsoever. What the fuck? What? Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Our primary driving force is 100% survival.
And we all know, ladies and gentlemen, what has often happened and still happens to truth when individuals or commercial enterprises or nations feel themselves threatened and struggle
Christians do horrible things when they're hungry, dude. Like, imagine.
for survival. A leading philosopher, Alvin Plantinga of Notre Dame, says if atheists are right that we are the product of mindless, unguided natural processes, then they have given us strong reason to doubt the reliability of human cognitive faculties.
Yes, you ought to. Correct. Humans are fallible apes. Yep. We are deeply flawed. Yes, humans are not... What? I'm a scientist, by the way.
Therefore, inevitably to doubt the validity of any belief that they produce, including their atheism, their biology.
Including your Christianity. So we ought to try to use our reason to deduce what is true, because it's pretty clear we can't just fucking vibe it out. Be an ape.
And their belief in naturalism would therefore appear to be at war with each other in a conflict that has nothing at all to do with God.
That's correct. God isn't real. I don't have a conflict with God either. I don't.
My corn is so moist that it's actually dripping.
This guy's a fucking mathematician. He's supposed to be smart. It sounds like it might be more hard than math. Weird. I guess I'm smarter than mathematicians, guys. And so are you. Every time I hear the intelligence design shit, I'm always like, well, that's a lot of empty space to have for just us. Like, if I made a high-end gaming computer and only used the built-in calculator. Yeah. Which I think means that if the Christian God exists, we are one of many planets that he has put a little Christian cult on. There wouldn't be just one. The Mormons are more correct.
Yet my atheist friends still insist that it is rational for them to believe that the evolution of human reason was not directed for the purpose of discovering truth. And yet it is irrational for me to believe that human reason was designed and created by God to enable us to understand and believe the truth.
He doesn't believe in evolution? Amazing. It's literally just intelligent design. You're right. I mean, I really thought... Okay. Creationists? God, dude. I don't want to argue with a creationist unless they're right in front of me, really. God, a creationist? Go. You can tell the Mormons are more correct by the underwear. All the other religions went with hats. The fools?
Truth. Curious logic. By contrast with that, biblical theism asserts that ultimate reality is personal.
A lot of my friends are Christian. Yeah, my Christian friends they all believe in evolution as well, because It's really hard to deny. And most Christian people I know were like the guy I talked to last night. Like most were like, you know, they didn't realize they're bigots. They didn't realize they're fucked up. You don't really want to argue with creation. Well, I guess last night the guy wasn't so much a bigot, but I mean, like, he was internally one.
And intelligent, and the reason
It's hard
science...
to befriend someone that pea-brained. I don't have any close religious friends. All my friends are atheists. Literally. I haven't dated a Christian in years. Maybe 2012.
Science works, and this was the motivating force that drove the great pioneers of science, is that the universe out there and the human mind in here that does the
We're part of the universe.
science are ultimately the product of the same intelligent divine mind.
He thinks he's so fucking smart. This guy's dead now for sure, right? This wasn't recent.
Human beings are made, we are told, in God's image.
This guy died. He was like, no, I'm not wearing a mask.
And that means that science can be done. That makes infinitely more sense to me as a scientist than atheism does. Now let me come briefly to ethics.
My dad's an anti-theist. Would make his case even when my friends were over. I understand. Yeah, I mean, great. That's awesome.
Behavior, like rational behavior, of course, does not itself require religious belief. This is consistent with the fact that humans are created in God's image as rational, moral persons.
They're not. You're all barbarians. I'm going to keep calling Christians and white people barbarians. I'm going to do it forever. Christian barbarism, white barbarism, we're just going to keep doing it. Because it's true.
But just as I suggest that rationality cannot be explained without the existence of God, so I dare to suggest that the existence of morality cannot be explained either.
The existence of morality? Empathy? We have empathy with each other. Hello, I'm empathetic with each other. We should treat each other well. We all succeed together when we treat each other well. In instances where we don't treat each other well, we should try to understand why we aren't and do better. That's it, really. That's what ethics are. That's the whole thing. We should just try to treat each other well. Amazing. Amazing.
As modern science sprang from Judeo-Christian sources, so did the concept of human equality. Listen
Subscribe!
to atheist
Chat, subscribe!
Jürgen Habermas, arguably one of Germany's leading intellectuals. He said that universalistic...
He couldn't even be fucked to have the decency to talk. Subscribe, though. You're literally stealing this fucking content, Lamau. Hot take. We were one of God's shit side projects he made, forgot about because he was bored, and we were that special of the grand scheme of things, literally an afterthought. Hot take. God doesn't exist, and we weren't even that. It's so much cooler than that. I think we're so much more interesting than God made us. Thanks for the 50 biddies. If God existed, he's evil or absent. And there's no evidence for him, which makes him more pernicious. Science only existed after Judaism, apparently. Yeah.
Egalitarianism, from which sprang the ideals of freedom and a collective life and solidarity.
We don't have freedom. What the fuck? All right, dude. White British men being like, right? Christian British men being like, yes, the masses have freedom. By the way, we have a queen. I'm sorry, she died. A king. I'm sorry, he's about to die. A queen?
individual morality of conscience, human rights, and democracy is the direct legacy of the Judaic ethic of justice and the Christian ethic of love.
The Christian ethic of love. How do you feel about trans kids? How do you feel about LGBTQ rights, buddy? What do you mean the Christian ethic of love? Christian love. No hate like Christian love, dude. The British need to drag queen on the throne.
This legacy, substantially unchanged, has been the object of continual critical appropriation and reinterpretation. To this day, there's no alternative to it. Everything else is just idle postmodern talk.
Aw, Jordan Peterson fan?
And it seems to me he's hitting the core of something important. Because the value of a human being on which such egalitarianism rests
Heard the coughs. This is when he got COVID and died.
is based not on what the human being can do, but what she's made of, or how she's made in God's image. I never forget speaking on one of my many visits to
Tactical she.
Russia to a colleague in the
Tactical pronouns in that speech.
Academy of Sciences. And he said, you know, John, we thought we could abolish God and retain a value for human beings. We found we couldn't. And we
More female Christian martyrs.
murdered millions of them. And Alexander Solzhenitsyn has said, if I'm asked, why is it that 60 million of my fellow countrymen were sacrificed? He said, the answer is, we have forgotten God.
And that was the only opinion we ever considered on the topic. The end. Doot, 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 doot. Are they played whatever British songs are? God Save the Queen. Is that Canada? Is that also Great Britain? The greatest country the sun never sets on, the British Empire, chat. That's what they say. Yakety sax.
Science, of course, marvelous as it is limited. Even a Nobel Prize winner, by analyzing a cake, cannot tell why it was made. But Aunt Matilda, who made it, can tell you. She can reveal it to you.
The third thing he did in this was he, at 8:53, did a nose exhale. Let's see it again, chat. Big replay.
But Aunt Matilda, who made it, can tell you. She can reveal it to you.
Damn. Nailed it, dude. Wow. This guy's saying a lot of stuff. We can look at the cake and see what the design implies. We can ask the person who made it. No, you can't. No. Hey, just because we have evidence for cake and it's totally different doesn't mean it's different. Totally.
But if she doesn't reveal it to you, you'll never know. And that brings me to my next evidence. It's the same with the universe. We can analyze it magnificently. But ultimately, if it has a maker, and I believe it has, only he can tell us what it's all about.
What is your evidence to support this? Well, I believe that we have that. Yeah, clockmaker. I mean, he's just going through all this. This is just really fucking awful. Chat, I don't want to watch the rest of this. I don't want to watch the rest of this. I'm bound by corn code. Let's see if he says one interesting thing.
And he's done so in the powerful narrative of the Bible, in particular in its analysis of the problem with humanity, not simply in terms of behavioral breakdown between people, but a vertical breakdown of trust between us and the Creator.
You guys want the slut spaghetti? You guys are begging for gloop? You guys want the gloop train? Do you think he's destroyed atheism yet? In 15 brilliancies? He hasn't said anything I haven't heard before yet. Uh-oh. This is so bad it's making chat scabs. No. Okay. this guy, John Lennox, you're an idiot. Revoke your PhD. Turn in your tuxedo. Walk into the English Channel. It's over. It's Jover. That was awful. That was terrible.
I have a question.
I have an answer because I'm super, super smart.
Cool.
Unless I don't have an answer, in which case, yeah, everyone forget that.